Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking some mixed martial arts with the Kiser and the Great White Joe Martinez. This segment is brought to you by Aztec Highway. Get it your way at the highway, WDFA. Now, I understand Aztec Highway has a big Black Friday sale going on day after Thanksgiving, 10% off everything in the store. And, Joe, I know you know a little bit of something about the stuff they sell over there.
Man, they got all kinds of cool stuff, especially in their cage, their MMA cage up there. They got the coolest gloves in town, man.
We said this, and it kind of sounds like I'm joking around about it. I've been punched by those gloves, and I'm not joking. They're nice gloves.
They are
really nice gloves.
They really are. They're awesome gloves. They're the best quality that I've found.
Yeah, by far. You put your hand in them, you'll right away you'll understand what we're talking about.
They got all the shorts and the shirts and MMA gloves, boxing gloves, shin pads, everything you need. Everything you'd have to order online, you can go in there and get.
Yep. Get so from not only training equipment for fighters, but apparel for fans. I mean, they've got all this stuff, and then cool fan paraphernalia as well. They've got fighters' autographed pictures and those kind of things as well. So perfect Christmas gifts to the guy who likes mixed martial arts, or guy or gal.
And they got the coolest shirt in town, the Fight Court shirts.
They do have the Fight Court shirts.
Hopefully they're sold out after my birthday party.
If they didn't sell out, we went in there to give Robertina one. We couldn't even find one her size.
There is a big reorder coming in next week. So
Robertina is kind of strangely sized.
You're so lucky she's
I don't think finger length is taken into consideration on T-shirt size.
I don't think so either. I know she's listening because she just texted in. So love you, Bobs. All right, well, I want to give a shout out to my son. My son made the varsity squad on the Alta High School wrestling team, and I couldn't be more proud. The kid, honestly, last year he was a real gritty wrestler, but he was okay. He wasn't great, but man, he's made such great strides.
And if people don't understand what that is one of the hardest things you'll ever go through, going through wrestle-offs in 2 days, everything at the starting of wrestling season.
That was going to be my question. Don't hate me for this, but what does that mean exactly, making the varsity? Is that like the A team and the B team?
He's a sophomore, and varsity is... It's the A team, yeah, basically. And so sophomores are usually on what you would call an exhibition squad. They have varsity, JV, and an exhibition. If you were to fall in line, in fact, he beat a senior in his weight class to be on the varsity squad. So it's a pretty monumental task that he did. So we're pretty proud of him.
Yeah, congratulations, Ben.
Yeah, and I got to say, we've got a wrestling program at the gym, and that's what I attribute it to. It's been so awesome. We've got a bunch of the kids, and there were a couple kids from the Alta squad that came out to the gym and kind of took him under their wing and really helped him. But having him wrestle throughout the summertime was what I think really helped him. And so it was good stuff for him and good stuff for us, and we're super proud of him.
And you guys put those kids to work. They were in shape going into the season.
That was the other thing, because they had what they called Hell Week last week, and my son was getting done with practice at the end of practice going, it was Heck Week
and
at
best. He was coming down to the gym after training with all the other guys and everything else.
He's coming down doing jiu-jitsu and kickboxing class after his Hell Week when everybody else was home in bed crying about their sore muscles. So, yeah, he was in awesome shape.
Does his jiu-jitsu training play into the wrestling? It does help?
It helped a ton. And I think that's why I say last year he was okay. He didn't really have a good grasp of his body and his hips and all that stuff that you learn in jiu-jitsu, and I think that was the light bulb that came on for him, was him just really having a better understanding for position and all those kind of things.
Do you think jiu-jitsu is a good complement to any wrestler's game?
Absolutely. You're a fool if you wrestle and don't do jiu-jitsu in the off season. It's absolutely crucial. It's vital.
Sorry. Go
it's
ahead.
a good way for the throughout the year to stay active and do tournaments and to keep that competition going.
Now, I've also heard a lot of talk about you doing a lot of privates out at the gym, Mike. Is UCTC available for private training?
Believe it or not, it's been crazy that all of a sudden, out of the blue, everybody wants to do private. They don't want to do group lessons anymore. They want to do privates, and I have been. My calendar's filling up during the day. I do an hour session. It's $50, and people love it. We've got a program that people have just really responded to.
I think in group lessons they're worried that they have to get punched by Kiser.
Yeah,
Kiser's in with his shirt off punching people.
But it's been great.
Can they work on whatever they want, boxing or wrestling or jiu-jitsu?
Yep.
How do they go about getting a hold of someone to schedule that?
Google it. No. Call down to the gym, 967-5295. That's the way to get it done. But, or just stop by. We're right there on the VF Factory Outlet Mall. And if you're shopping for Christmas and want to go to the Factory Outlet Mall, might as well stop in and say hi, and then maybe we'll teach you how to punch somebody.
Nice.
They're going to need it for Black Friday, man.
Yeah, they're going to need it to get into Aztec Highway, get up to the cage, and get the stuff you want. So, all right, the poll question once again, and I want to give out the studio line one more time because you've been doing such a bang-up job, Brandon. Let's give it out.
45 or 670 1280.
All right, so if you have an opinion on either of the the two questions. And the first question is Hendo or Shogun? And tomorrow night's big UFC event. Who do you think is going to win that? And then I'd also love to hear your take on last week's UFC debut. And I'm going to start, Joe, with you as far as tomorrow night's big fight with Hendo and Shogun.
You want my pick?
I want your pick, and I want you to lay it out for me. Why?
I think that Dan Henderson's going to do exactly what he did to Fedor and beat up Shogun. Ooh. He's going to TKO him in the first round.
All right, well, good. No,
and I'm being crazy again. Nobody's going to agree with me, but we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, all right. Well, good stuff. You just for the record, you were the solo person in this group that picked
Dos Santos
JDS last week, and so we got to give you some props. He acted like he had won the lottery the other night at the fight. So I said to Brandon, I go, Joe acts like he just won the
lottery. When you get something right and Mike's wrong, it's pretty awesome.
It doesn't happen often, but
I had to shut my mouth and everything.
Because I know if JDS would have lost, you guys have been all over me.
I'm a gentleman. And again, momentarily we're going to be speaking with Adam Lagai, who's going to be we're going to get in touch with him down at the Throwdown show. So before we get him on the line, let's talk about last week's UFC Fox debut.
Like you said, too much talking. And the people that were talking, they could have got better commentators. They could have got, Kenny Florian, Frank Mir, guys that have experience doing it. Putting Brock Lesnar in front of there was just it wasn't entertaining at all. He was stumbling over words.
Well, I was at Brandon's party, so I didn't really get a chance to hear. I mean, I just saw a lot of talking. What was the substance of those interviews? What was going on?
You know what? I was at the party with you guys, so I didn't really hear.
You were at the cool end of where you were right next to the TV. I had people standing right in front of me.
I don't know. I didn't. We still couldn't hear it, but for everybody that I heard, my dad called me right after and wanted to talk about it. He said there was just too much talking, and it was just boring to listen to. And then they went through and they played the highlight reels of these guys, and all it was the UFC primetime done over again. They just used recycled footage. They didn't do their own little intro for these guys and kind of show who they were, and people were just bored with it. So I think by the time the fight actually started, they just lost a lot of people.
Well, all right. So what about the fight itself? Do you think that was the right fight for the night?
No.
It's easy to say in hindsight that maybe perhaps it wasn't, but looking at it from just a kind of a third party's observer, was that the right fight?
I think because it was the heavyweight championship that it was a good pick, but I think they put all their eggs in one basket and they should have had another fight. The Ben Henderson Clay Guida fight was possibly fight of the year. Yeah. And they could have put that on there with it, and they would have given them two different spectrums. They had the first round TKO, and the other fight was a 3-round war.
And we talked a little bit about this out there that maybe they were playing it a little too safe. They didn't want a 3-round war. Maybe they didn't want to see a Clay Guida because watching him fight, I got to be honest, it's not pretty in any stretch of the imagination. No. It's not pretty. For me, it is. I love watching Clay Guida fight. I'm a huge Clay Guida fan, but the average guy seeing that hair flying everywhere, and it's kind of ugly.
He's always bloody. There's always blood in his fights.
He doesn't have 1 ounce of defense in his game at all. He blocks with his nose, but he's so durable and so tough. But yeah, maybe that's why they didn't do that, is they just didn't want to introduce the world to gore.
But it's MMA, man. They're going to find out eventually. And I want to bring up I talked to you about this. UFC painted over the mat all the blood that was on the canvas before it aired on Fox.
That's kind of funny.
I think that this is an edgy sport, and people are going to figure it out eventually. Why not show them what it is, lay it out there?
You know what, though? When you watch NFL football, there's a lot of blood involved. They never show it. They edit it out, the blood. If you see a guy that's cut or something, and they'll cut away from that. So I think that's just part of network television. They don't want to have that kind of stuff on there. So,
but I mean, they're not going to get away with it. There's going to be blood if they're going to do fights on Fox. There's going to be blood.
And not if you pick the right fights. Yeah, you're right. But it's baby steps.
I think they just played a little bit too safe, and they could have thrown another fight on there. I think they needed more fights, obviously. And hopefully that's something that happens in the future, and I think they're planning on.
Well, I don't want to cut you short, but I understand we got Adam on the line, and I want to get to him, and I want you to come back to that because it sounds like you've got a lot of good stuff on that, and I would really like to continue that. And so Adam Lagai now is joining us on the line, and Adam is down there at UVU at the fights. What's going on down there?
Am I with you guys? You hearing me?
You are here, and we are hearing you.
Nice. Yeah, I'm here. It's crazy as always right before a fight. People are going nuts.
So how's the crowd looking?
The crowd's coming in slowly but surely. The fight doesn't actually start till 7, so if you haven't made up your mind yet, you can still get here and see every single fight. Every fight starts at 7. There's no undercard. There's 2 amateur fights, and then it just goes straight into the pros.
I got really worried as the week has been going on. I've been watching the weather because I was afraid this storm was going to get here and scare people from. But I understand the snow's not going to fly until after midnight, so people can safely make it down to Utah County and safely make it back, and you shouldn't have any worries about the snow hitting.
Especially since there's no alcohol here, they'll make it back just fine. Hey, I got Super Steven Siler here. You guys want to say?
Oh man, absolutely. Put him on the line.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Okay.
If you guys want to talk, I'll let you know when he's on the line.
Okay, good stuff. Well, so now Steven Siler, in case you don't know who he is, he's on The Ultimate Fighter right now. In fact, he lost. He got knocked out of the show. But he'll be back in the finale.
Hopefully. They bring back a few of the guys that fight on the finale. But
well, he's exciting. He'll be back on.
Well, his fight wasn't exciting. I tell you, he got knocked out pretty bad in the.
Did he really?
Yeah, real early in the fight. He fought a tough guy. Though.
Oh, I don't like to hear that, man.
Probably a guy that's going to be in the finale. So.
Well, the guy being in the finals, but I really think you're going to bring Steven. You got to bring Steven Siler back for that.
I think they will because he shocked everybody in the preliminary fights, and Dana White crossed him off, and then he beat the guy, and they liked him a lot. So hopefully they bring him back. He's
a good kid too, and that's what I think. When you start talking about these guys that are kind of feeding in there, he's a great kid, and he's got that little thing about him that you just like him when you talk to him. You like him. He's a little bit brash, but it's his confidence. He's a kid that
he's ready to go.
He's not a physically overwhelmingly looking kid, but he's just tough as nails. And I understand we've got him on the line now. So Steven Siler, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
Man, we were doing so awesome, and I was so disappointed to hear you got beat in the show, but you're not beaten down, are you?
Oh God, not even close. I'm still happy, still training strong, and everyone gets caught, and when the guy comes out wild, you're either gonna wear him out or gonna catch one, and that's when I got caught.
Buddy, that's the attitude to have right there. So you don't know at this point if you're going to be back on the finale or anything like that. Have you heard anything?
No comment.
Okay, I didn't know that once you're beaten, I didn't know there was a quiet clause, but I guess there is. So you're training back here at Throwdown, or excuse me, at the academy, and training back with the guys that know a little bit about being on the show and getting past that.
Yeah, I'm still at the pit elevated. I've been training strong with Ramsey and Court. We had Clay, who just lost to Marcus, and that Trevor Mellon down here, and Brad Martinez, and a bunch of good training partners helped me stay strong.
Good stuff. So now, Steven, I want to get your take on this. We were talking about the UFC last weekend on Fox. Did you get a chance? Were you down there? Did you get a chance to see it?
I actually had to stay up here for this one, but of course, I watched it all.
What did you think about the Fox and how it worked out and the show itself? And do you think that the UFC hit a home run, or do you think they may have missed an opportunity there?
No, I think they did what they needed to do. They got the show out there. The UFC is not in contract with Fox yet, so that was a free show Fox just gave UFC just to give them some, attention, and they got it. And they put on a good fight, and unfortunately it went short, but that's what Dana White took a risk, and just being able to get on Fox this early without being in contracts, lucky enough for.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's MMA, as we said. I mean, you're not gonna have great barn burners every time you try to get one. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. But let's talk about the show down there tonight. Who you pulling for? What's the fight of the night in your mind?
We still got we got 8 teammates fighting on this card for me for us down here at the pit elevated. Fight of the night. Even though he's not part of our team, legitimately, Jordan Smith and Josh McDonald is going to be a strong fight. Josh trains down there with Jake Shields, and he got a great coach in Tarek, and he's a very, very tough wrestler, and just skills all around. And Jordan loves the brawl, and hopefully he could get the takedown defense, and I think that's going to be a great, great fight.
And I heard somewhere, I'm not sure where, but that if Jordan wins this fight, he's got a shot at going places. Have you heard anything about that?
You never know. I'm really pulling for it. I talked to Jordan recently, and he believes, this could be his chance, but, that's up to the UFC guys.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. So, I mean, that's it's got to be exciting for you guys down there. Now, what about the main event? Who are you taking in that one?
In the Jordan Smith fight?
I think is that Melendez and Jerome Hatch. Is that the main event?
No, Jordan and John.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then who are you taking in the Melendez and Hatch fight?
Jerome's my teammate, and he comes down here quite a bit. And actually, I get along really good with Brandon. I think if he keeps standing, I think it goes to Jerome. If it goes to the ground, it might go to Brandon. So.
All right. Well, good stuff. Yeah. No, Steven, this is the second time we've had you on the show in about a month or so. Please get in touch with us if you find anything out about the finale, because we'd love to follow your progress and see how things go for you.
I will.
All right. Thank you, my man. You want to hand the phone back to Adam?
Adam or Jan doing that?
He took off?
Yeah, we got Jan Jorgensen right here, too, if you want to talk to
him. Oh, I got you. Okay. All right, well, thank you so much, Steven Siler, for joining us on the show.
All right, no problem.
All right, brother. So going on down at UVU, big fights going on.
Jan, hold on.
Okay.
Stidham, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on there?
I'm just hanging out in my locker room. You know these things, and it's like a dungeon. They won't let me out of here.
Are you going to pass your drug test this time?
Yes, I will pass. No poppy seeds this time.
No poppy seed this time, right? Okay.
No poppy seeds. I was smart this time.
How you feeling right now? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm excited. It's just like a waiting game right now. You got to battle the nerves, but I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to get out there and get it done.
Well, so what do you know about Lolo Tuiaki?
He's a big tough guy. He's a big puncher. I know that he likes to stand up and beat people up. His wins have come by pretty fast, knockout TKOs, and he's a guy you definitely have to take serious. Got to be careful of those big, heavy hands.
So with that in mind, are you going to take him down, or are you going to stand and bang with him?
We'll see. It's just it depends on what the fight dictates.
Okay.
If I need to stand and bang, then I will. If I need to take him down, I will. I'm prepared to do both. So, and
you've got a bit of a reach advantage on him, don't you?
I do have a little bit. I am a little bit taller than he is, and so I don't know how much of a difference it will make. But I believe I do have a little bit. Now,
I didn't get a chance to check in after the weigh-ins. Are all the fights still on, and nothing crazy happened at the weigh-ins last night?
If you know Dane, his fight is not happening. I don't know if you heard that one.
Which one?
That fight's not going down.
Which fight was that?
Dane.
Oh, Dane Aristobal?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, Dane Aristobal. His guy had some trouble making weight.
Oh, you know what? That was that guy from Reno, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
I wanted to see Dane beat him up so bad.
So did we.
I hate that guy.
So did we.
That guy was Coach McLeod's partner, and I just don't like those guys out there. And Dane's a tough kid. Well, I wouldn't have made weight if I were him either, because he was going to get beat up.
Well, it wasn't the fact that he didn't make weight. He passed out while he was trying to cut the weight.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let him fight.
They should give him an Academy Award for that passing out. All right, so what's your prediction for fight of the night? I mean, do you think yours is going to be the big fight of the night, or who do you think?
I'm saying Chavez Melendez. That's going to be fight of the night. Those guys are going to go brawl. It's going to be exciting. I don't think that fight's going on the first round. So if I had to put my money on any fight of the night, it would be that.
Yeah, are there any, as you were kind of bumping around at the weigh-ins last night, are there any stories behind any of these fights? Do any of these guys have bad blood, history, anything like that?
It's a good question. Not that I know of. I didn't usually see it, when they go and step on the scales and, do the face-off afterwards. But I didn't see anything. Everybody seemed to be pretty cordial and just ready to go out there and fight.
So this is one of those feel-good shows. Everybody's going to be loving each other.
It's in Provo, man.
It's feel good as an MMA show can be.
Well, Jen, I got to tell you, man, it's awesome having you come on our show, because you're the only talent on the microphone right now, because we don't have any talent in the show. But it's awesome to have you come on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to do it.
You have plenty of talent on that show, and anytime, fellas, anytime.
Well, thank you very much, and best of luck tonight.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, no, that was a great surprise. That was cool. We were expecting Adam Lagal, and he's a beautiful man, don't get me wrong, but these guys are actually fighting, and you got Jan Jorgensen in the back room getting ready to fight.
I got to tell you, Jan Jorgensen sounds better than us, and Steven Siler sounds like a UFC employee.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I saw him down there. He was helping out with Ramsey down when we went down to Las Vegas for the last fights, and he was in and out of there with Ramsey, so I'm sure he has something going on being involved with the UFC. So
speaking of Ramsey too, I got a call last night from my friend Anthony Njoku, who's an old kickboxing friend of mine, and he says he just got scheduled to fight Ramsey in an upcoming UFC. It's official, and I'll tell you what, Ramsey's going to have the fight of his life.
That guy's pretty tough.
I don't think he'll get past Anthony Njoku. He was
Really?
like 2010 Fighter of the Year. Made the transition from WEC to UFC, and he's just been smoking everyone. So,
well, that'll be exciting if nothing else, man.
Yeah.
All right, Big Joe's going to break down a little bit
Break time.
more last week's UFC, and then you're going to break down tomorrow night's UFC when we come back.